Electronic Sounds Audio, the YouTube channel for you.
Hey, what's happening, guys? It's Dean from Electronic Sounds. Stick around. Today, we're going to be checking out a really special desktop effects plugin. Now, I don't really do a lot of videos on desktop effects plugins, so you know this one is something special. This is the BLEASS Slow Machine, and I think it's an essential app for anyone doing creative sound design. Come on, let's get into this. Hey, what's happening, everyone? It's Dean from Electronic Sounds. Stick around. Today, I'm really excited to share with you the BLEASS Slow Machine app for desktop. Now, I've done a video for this application on the iPad, and I'm going to put a link to that up in the corner in case you want to check this one out on iPad. I've got a lot of examples prepared today, and by the end of this video, you're going to have a really good idea of what the BLEASS Slow Machine will do for your sound. Let's get right into this. Here's a groove that I've put together, and we're going to check out what the Slow Machine does to this groove. So just a basic techno groove there, but wait until you see what happens when we drop the BLEASS Slow Machine on it. Completely new vibe entirely. Now, I think this app, it really excels at creative sound design, and if you're making any type of like lo-fi music or trip-hop music or study beats type of chilled beats type of music, I really think that this is an indispensable sound design tool. Let's go ahead and check out a few more examples at this time. Today, we're going to check out what the Slow Machine sounds like on individual sounds, and we're also going to check out what it sounds like on full grooves. Here's a flute riff. Right? Cool. But what happens when we drop the BLEASS Slow Machine on that? This is a preset called Deep Layer. And it's literally adding another layer, like a sub-octave layer underneath our original flute sample. Fantastic. Let's check out another example, shall we? This one is a drum and bass groove here, and let's take a listen to what this sounds like. So just a standard kind of a drum and bass type of groove here. Let's see what happens when we drop the BLEASS preset on it called Groovy Beat. We're really changing the vibe here. Let's take a look at what the tools the Slow Machine is actually giving us, guys. Over here, we've got the slow down section. Over here at the top left, we can choose the loop size that the app is grabbing from your incoming audio. So whether you want a really tight, like just 1/16 note loop of that incoming audio, all the way to 8 bars of a loop. Down underneath that, we've got the speed section, which we can turn off, or we can slow down the audio to any of these divisions here. We can turn the quantize on and off to keep this really synced with our beat as well. Next up, we have this filter section down at the bottom, where when we turn it on, this is now, the app is only affecting the frequencies that fall within the range here that is lit up. So we can really get creative here and have the app affect our entire frequency spectrum, or maybe just the mids of our frequency spectrum, or maybe even just the very lows of our frequency spectrum. And we can turn this filter on and off as needed. If you find that you're hearing a little bit of clicks or pops in the audio as the app is grabbing that loop from your incoming audio, we can adjust the fade up a little bit to try to prevent some of those clicks and pops. We can also have a dry wet setting here, so we've got a little bit of our original source material coming through. Next up, we've got a time stop section, which kind of acts like a tape stop. Let me get the groove going and I'll show you what I mean here. If we press this button, we get that classic tape stop effect, right? Awesome. But depending on where in this little window here you actually click the mouse, you're going to get some different results in the way that the tape stop reacts. If we look really closely, we'll see here in the bottom corner, we've got like a 50 millisecond envelope and a really tight envelope. Whereas up in the upper left here, we've got a 1917 millisecond envelope. So a lot slower of a slowdown. Let me show you what I mean. Here it slows down a lot slower when I click in the upper left there compared to down here in the bottom right, where it's almost an instantaneous stop of the beat. Now over here in the mode section, you can adjust how fast or slow the time stop is going to affect your incoming audio, whether you want it to be super quick on the grab and super quick on the release, or slow on the grab and slow on the release, etc. You can also adjust the speed of the tape stop as well. Let's check out some more examples. Over here I've got a guitar loop example. Just kind of a funky wah guitar, right? Really standard. But what happens when we bring up the BLEASS Slow Machine and put the preset bass bender inverter on that guitar? Check this out. Oh yeah. We're literally adding like a second layer of melodic information now beneath our original guitar part. And it really changes the way that that sounds. And then with it, I really love what this does to just about any kind of content that we run through it. Next up, we're going to run a drum break through it. This is a drum and bass type of drum beat here. So really nice, just kind of simple drum and bass beat. But when we bring the groovy beat preset onto this, take a listen to what this does to the original sound. Oh! It's a completely different vibe, but we're still at the same tempo. I'm going to turn the metronome on in Ableton so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Again, here's the original beat. And with the BLEASS Slow Machine. Oh. It turns that tight and crispy drum and bass beat into like a really interesting and more textured sounding kind of lo-fi beat. Let's check it out on a vocal loop here. This is like a glitch vox type of vocal. That sounds really great. And if we bring up the BLEASS app here and we use the preset called Drum Scratcher, hear how we're not only adding a layer underneath our main layer, but now starting to introduce some of the time stop effect as well. Check that out. Really cool. That's the Drum Scratcher preset, but I also found another preset from Slow Machine that sounds great here, and this is just a preset called Sequencing. You get a lot more sort of choppy and stuttery elements here. I could really see going in and running the audio into a separate track here, recording all of the audio from the BLEASS Slow Machine affecting the vocal, and then chopping out little tiny bits to add with the main sample. Absolutely. Let's check out another groove here. I think this one is a full groove. Let's take a listen to what this does to the sound here. Whoops. There we go. Alright, so we've got just kind of a basic techno groove here. But if we we just drop Slow Machine on it and use the default preset, it changes that vibe entirely. Check this out. We've got a much more, interesting sort of down-tempo, not traditional techno groove. I'm going to put the metronome on here. We're still completely snapped to grid, Okay, I've also got another preset that I thought sounded really nice on that same beat, and this is the kick muffle preset. Hear how we're sort of almost gating the loop now? I really think that the variety that this Slow Machine will add to your sounds, no matter whether we're talking put it on your master bus and affect the full track, or just maybe put it on one loop from the track or one track from the track, maybe something like this piano here. Right, just a big, rich piano sound. But if we take the Slow Machine preset called Bass Bender Inverter and we drop it on that piano, a much more lo-fi kind of trip-hop piano sound. I also found another preset that I thought sounded really great on that, and this is the Jerk Machine preset. Just kind of getting a lo-fi sort of gated sound. Now, one of the things that makes this app so powerful is the sequencer page. We can go over here and we can, change the length of the sequencer pattern. We can change the resolution and the speed of our sequencer pattern. We can even unsnap it to grid if we want to. And what we can do is we can draw in different shapes down here. We can link these shapes together or keep the steps completely individual. And this is turning on and off the tape stop effect inside of the app, and you can get really creative here by bringing in just certain sections of your groove that are going to maybe be affected, whereas other sections of the groove are not going to be affected. We could bring the amount of steps on this down. We could bring the resolution down so it happens very slowly, right? Maybe even just to 1 bar. You can get really creative with the sequencer page. All right. Okay, before we check out the rest of these examples, if you've been enjoying my content, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel. All right, let's check out some more examples. This is sort of a trip-hop groove here. And if we put the Bassline Maker 2 preset from Slow Machine on it, it gives it a whole new flavor. Check this out. Really lo-fi and dirty. I also like what this preset does to it. This is called Groovy Beat. This gives it a whole new kind of swing and vibe. Again, here's the original. And with the Groovy Beat preset. I really like that Groovy Beat preset. It can do a lot to a lot of different sonic material. All right, let's check out another example. This is sort of a chord loop here. Let's see what this sounds like on its own. It's kind of a chilled house music type of chord. And if we put the Enrich Your Melody preset on it from Slow Machine. Oops. What I want you to listen for here is how we're really adding another layer of melodic content underneath the original sample. Again, without it. Whoops, sorry about that. Without it. And with it. We get that whole other layer. Awesome. I found a few more presets that work really well with this one. This is a preset here called Bassline Maker 2. Same kind of deal. We get those low, sort of glitchy additions from the slow machine here. I could definitely see sampling a few of these little chops out. Absolutely. All right, let's check out one more preset on that particular sound. I believe it's the Groovy Beat preset. Yeah, this one really just seems to do a lot to whatever you put it on. Again, we're sort of slowing it down and just giving it a different vibe entirely. Here's the original. And the affected version. Super chilled. All right, let's check out another example. This next one is a full groove example. And let's see, it sounds a little bit like this. Cool. If we put the default preset from Slow Machine on that groove, it sounds a bit like this. Check this out. We've taken kind of a techno groove and turned it down into a chilled, almost trip-hoppy sounding groove. Oh, I really like that one. The original and the affected version. This is just a default preset from Slow Machine. All right, and let's check out one more preset from Slow Machine on that. This is the Groovy Beat preset again. Again, we're sort of turning it from a techno groove into an almost triplets psytrance type of groove here. We're really just one step away from triplets psytrance. If you dropped some vocal, mantras over this, kind of thing. Oh man, coolness. Okay, let's check out another example. This is a full live jam. This is the first live jam that I did in the new year, in 2020, actually, a year ago. Let's see here. This sounds a little bit like this. Sort of a chilled house groove here. And if we just put the default Slow Machine preset on that groove, check this out. This is fantastic. This is almost like a chilled 70s road movie vibe. I could hear some guitar coming over this easily, or some nice acoustic bass. Completely different vibe. Again, here's the original and the affected version. I just really like how this app just completely reshapes the sonic material, just completely gives you a completely different idea than what you were, maybe thinking to do with that content. If you create a groove, for example, and drop the Slow Machine on the master bus and just start flicking through the presets and see what it can do to the groove that you've created. If you find something you like, you can render all those tracks out individually, then reload them into Ableton and start building a completely different groove from the ground up, All right, here we have a synthesizer loop. This is at 120. Cool. And if we drop the Enrich Your Melody preset on it from the Slow Machine, again, we sort of get that lower frequency content being added now. and without it, and with it. Super cool. All right, the last example we're going to listen to today is just a typical break sounding drum groove, I believe, and it sounds like this. Yeah, all right, cool. If we drop the drum scratcher preset from Slow Machine on it, it sounds like this. I'm going to drop the metronome on so you can hear how we're still perfectly in tempo. We're just changing the vibe here. Again, the original and the affected version. Ooh. All right, let's just hear one more example of what Slow Machine can do here. This is the groovy beat preset again. Check this out, you guys. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. And we're still perfectly in tempo. I'm going to turn the metronome in Ableton back on. Just got kind of a swung groove here now. A completely different vibe, almost jazzy, right? I really think that the Slow Machine effect really excels at creative sound design. And if you're making any type of lo-fi or down-tempo or chill-out or study beats type of music, this is really a must-have. All right, until next time, thanks for watching.